So we find out news. You know what's great, Leroy? I tell you what I love. I love a little social distancing out on the open sea. Nyar. I love going out there and realizing, oh, look at this. Look. What is this that we got? Is this a disturbed pod out here in the Utah waters, in the Salt Lake, if you will? Salt Lake whales not getting along with one another? Perhaps it's time to harping up the old harpoon and get old Riles out there and see what's what when it comes to Rudy Gobert and Donovan Mitchell, you know, passing disease along to one another.
What's wrong with you?
What are you talking about?
Like, okay. Now, here's where you go down this path. I don't want to hear any may have. I don't want to hear any possibilities. Who would Brendan Tobin? Brendan P. Tobin. P stands for
the piece that's on my middle name?
Pope Petty.
Was he Taraji P. Henson?
Who would you trade for Donovan Mitchell?
Okay, listen. And by the way, for everybody to just so we can get what's what, this is a trade for Donovan Mitchell. I'm not interested in Rudy Gobert, all right? He's a disease spreader, all right? He gets played off the floor all the time.
Who's going to trade for a big?
Not interested.
Trade for a big?
Yeah, because some people are I had people who say, why don't we trade? We don't need Donovan Mitchell. Why not trade for Rudy Gobert? Final piece. Look, Rudy Gobert is a fantastic defensive player. I'm not trying to call him a bum. He's not a bum. I'm just not interested in it, all right? I'm not making big splashy moves for a center. Just not my style, okay, everybody? Just so we can get what's what. Now, Leroy, I know what's going to happen here, and what's going to happen here is you're going to hold this against me forever. So I just want to put the preface out there and say this, that I'm being forced to do this because everybody else is a bunch of cowards.
Well, if you're going to put yourself out there and talk about trade for somebody, you got to put the whole deal together.
Not necessarily. When I say I want to trade for somebody, sometimes it just means that I want to just, spitball a little bit. Let's just talk. Maybe you don't want Donovan Mitchell. Do you not want Donovan Mitchell?
I mean, not if I have to give up Tyler Hero or Duncan Robinson, and here's why. The reason why is because you can keep two of those players for the same price that it would cost you to have Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, yeah. Well, you're gonna have to give Donovan Mitchell a fat contract.
Right. And when I think of where this team is, to trade those two guys or somewhere along those lines of two guys for Donovan Mitchell, are you really improving your team? Because in the end, he's a scorer.
Yep.
And this team wasn't built like that.
Well,
the Miami Heat have never built like
they've never been built like that, but they've been an offensive team this year. They're not a good. Their identity has been offense. It hasn't been defense this year. Now their two best players are good defenders, but that's it.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
go ahead.
You're asking me, who would I trade?
Well, no, because if you're gonna orca, you got to do real talk, and at some point, the reality of it is that you have to find how are we going to get Donovan Mitchell to the Heat.
First of all, don't tell me how to orca. I invented orking. Okay,
you still got to do it.
I am Poseidon.
He's not going to mysteriously show up in Miami. Right. How you going to get him here?
He's 23 years old. All right. Reports were he was going to sign the Supermax in the offseason. They're gonna give him whatever extension they can give him. They're gonna give him. Now, things change.
Yep.
He's been given a disease. Rudy Gobert's there, or maybe he hates Rudy Gobert's guts. I'd imagine he doesn't want to play in Utah his entire career. It's Utah, so Donovan Mitchell also happens to love Bam Adebayo. Same draft class, played basketball in the same state. Little crosstown rivals, Louisville and Kentucky. So, here's what it comes down to. Do you trade a couple of baby goats for one whale? That's what the question is. Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero,
Wait.
on the table for Donovan Mitchell.
Hold on.
Got to make the salaries work, obviously.
I don't question why you.
Hope Andre Iguodala enjoys himself in Utah. Enjoy that.
All this setup. What's the trade?
I'm just saying it's gonna be. I'm saying you have to throw Tyler Hero. Hey, Utah, basically Western Conference Boston. Love the whites. They love white ballers. They're gonna love Tyler Hero. Theoretically, I'm not saying I want to trade him. I'm just saying if we were to do a trade, they're gonna love Tyler Hero. All right,
here we go.
He's gonna slay out there. He's gonna get all the Instagram ass models in Utah. It's gonna be fantastic for him. All right. You got to trade the baby goats. Like I was seeing this week, people were like, oh, this is Heat fan right now. Right? When you think about Donovan Mitchell, they're like, oh, I want to keep the baby goats. Let's trade Solomon Hill. No. You guys are jerks. All right. You want to do business. This is the cost of doing business. Now, would I give up Duncan Robinson for Donovan Mitchell? I would not. I got to walk away at that point. I think we're talking about the best shooter in the league. All right, this maybe Steph Curry you could put up there with him. Maybe I'm not ready to go there yet. Maybe you could put Steph Curry up there with Donovan Mitchell. But as far as would I be willing to part with him? No. Even though Donovan Mitchell's younger than Duncan Robinson, I don't care. His skill set, his game breaking ability, it's too great. But we were talking last week about championship ready for the Miami Heat. What would be the last step? I mean, a perennial scoring guard who could basically get buckets whenever he wants to add to this team. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So, why are you looking at me like that?
Because you haven't given me
I'm willing to
wishy-washy.
I'm willing to part with the baby goats. I'm willing to part with a 19-year-old Tyler Hero, budding star, and a Rookie of the Year candidate in Kendrick Nunn for Donovan Mitchell.
So Kendrick Nunn.
Does that get me hung up on? Maybe.
Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero,
and
for
stuff.
Donovan Mitchell, and it has to be done before the Supermax.
It doesn't have to be done. It has to be done this summer. Whenever the offseason is. Whenever the offseason is.
It has to be done before he signs the Supermax, because then you won't be able to trade him. Because you don't have that money.
Correct.
You can't swap the salaries.
Correct. And to the guy who keeps trading in Olynyk and Dragic. Okay, a couple things here. First of all, Kelly Olynyk is nothing but filler when it comes to a trade for an all-star. All right? All respect. Love the guy. And Goran Dragic is a free agent. He's not going to be yours to trade. So get that out of your head right now. Second of all right, when it comes to this deal, you got to get it out of your head that you're going to be trading veterans this side of 30 for Donovan Mitchell. All right, you got to talk young. He's 23 years old. Young. Think young. Although, look, can I mention one thing? Hear me out on this, Leroy.
Oh, so that's please don't jump down my throat before it starts.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah.
This is just a theory I was thinking about this weekend. Because it's quarantine, I got a lot of time. Would it do irreparable harm to the Miami Heat's reputation, culture, and standing?
I know where you're going if you trade Jimmy Butler.
Yeah. If I were to call up the Jazz and say, Robbie, give me a ring. Hey, what's up, Jazz GM? This is Pat Riley. Hey, look, man, what do you think about having more of a finished product? And, I hear that Rudy Gobert and, Donovan Mitchell not getting along too good. Maybe you could put another defensive presence in there and, you give yourself an established veteran presence in the Utah and, we'd do a little swappy swap. Jimmy Butler and Kendrick Nunn for Donovan Mitchell. What do you think? What say you? Now, this is my opinion. This is my opinion right now. I just want to make it clear. I was just thinking about this weekend. This is my opinion. I would never do that because I am eternally grateful to Jimmy Butler for being the guy who said yes to come to the Miami Heat.
You know what's crazier? And Texter brought this up. What move would result in more wins right now for the Miami Heat? Rudy Gobert.
I'm sorry.
Would.
I can't, though.
You
I can't.
Look, you can't, and I get it.
I can't.
But real talk, that would result in more victories for the Heat. Even though I'm not a Rudy Gobert fan, if you look at what changes this team immediately and makes them better immediately, when the game slows down in the playoffs, having that paint presence makes you that much more better. And with Bam getting his range, now you can move Bam a little more outside, and your perimeter defense picks up.
I mean,
it's
as good a rim protector as you could get in the league.
Right.
But
the problem. Wait,
he's a center.
If you have scoring, here, let's think of it this way: how many more points are the Heat gonna score with Donovan Mitchell? The players they have.
I mean, he averages 24 points a game. He averages more than anybody on the team.
Again, how much more are the Heat going to score? Because they score a bunch of points.
I know, but is it about how much, or is it about when this guy can get you buckets?
If you have somebody who can stop the other team from scoring, it doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, listen, Donovan Mitchell's not going to be he's not going to confuse anybody for Gary Payton. I mean, that's for sure.
You don't here. When you get to the playoffs, you don't want to keep having shootouts, because then you know who you are? You're Houston.
True. Robbie,
the guy that would make the most impact on this Heat team is Rudy Gobert. Whether you want to trade for him or not, no, because Donovan Mitchell, you know.
So you think when Riley sees Rift,
Donovan Mitchell's a better player.
We know that Riley loves centers. Like when he sees Rift, he thinks, "Oh, I could go get me a center."
Right? You get a center, you move back a little bit, right? He doesn't have the presence. That means you would probably have to trade Myers Leonard.
Well, but Myers is gonna be a free agent,
right? And then still, you still go with, a baby goat.
Robbie, what do you make of this? Would you be willing to part with baby goats for Donovan Mitchell? And does it make you the worst person in the world to even consider trading Jimmy Butler?
I couldn't stop thinking about Jimmy Butler in Utah with Rudy Gobert and how miserable he would be.
He'd be so miserable. We owe Jimmy more. Like, I know somebody who's like, we haven't had Jimmy long enough to be attached. I like that trade, Tobin. I am attached to Jimmy Butler. I'm grateful to Jimmy Butler for coming to the Miami Heat. I'm just looking at the assets up and because I'm not trading Bam. Bam's untradeable to me. All right, don't touch him.
Right.
Duncan's pretty much there for me. And Jimmy is Jimmy, and it's like he makes a lot of money. He's your established star, but he is 30, and so you're basically adding you're adding his position. Definitely not as good defensively. Doesn't have maybe quite the leadership that he does, but you're putting him in the same age range. You're making the team a lot younger, basically. Like you're putting everybody in the same age bracket.
Here, at no point, whatever trade you make, if you're the Miami Heat, no trade can result in you getting worse defensively.
Well, that definitely this is what that would do.
Okay, you can't because guess what? When you get into the playoffs and it becomes more of a half-court game, if you don't have any defense, you're going to get run over.
Okay, but forget about Rudy Gobert for a second.
Okay.
Would you give up the baby goats? Leroy Horde, I'm going to put you on the spot. Would you give up the baby goats for Donovan Mitchell?
No, because it's a lateral move.
Not both of them.
Not both of them.
One
of them has to be Tyler Hero.
Yeah.
Kendrick Nunn and Tyler Hero. That's who we're talking about. It's a lateral move. You understand?
It's kind of silly to call it a lateral move. Like we're trading a 19-year-old and we're trading a rookie who's a rookie of the year candidate for an all-star.
Right.
We can't say it's a lateral move.
I'm saying it's a lateral move and what it does for your team. Okay? They already scored plenty.
But everybody realized, like, let me ask you
understand
this.
if they average 95 points.
But everybody
Okay,
who
they don't average
nobody
95
does, yeah, but nobody does in the NBA these days. Like you
But
can throw,
I use that as just a random number.
okay, but like everybody realizes, all the people who still want like Bradley Beal and that stuff, like you realize eventually some of that's going to deal with, you're going to have to part with Tyler Hero, right?
No, no. I'm not even talking. You got to trade. I'm not worried about that. I'm worried about what it does for your team.
But the only way this story ends with the Miami Heat keeping Tyler Hero is if Giannis Antetokounmpo signs with you as a free agent. If you want to go make a move now, if you want to go make a trade, might want Riley to go out there with his big stick swinging, that involves trading Tyler Hero.
And if you do that, the trade that you have to make, if you're making this team better now, would be a defensive presence. It would not. They score enough points. That's not been the problem. When you watch these games this year, the thing that has slowed the Miami Heat down is their defense. And when their defense struggles, then they struggle offensively. But if you never struggle defensively, then how much better is the scoring going to be from the guys that you have?